Good afternoon, freshman class of 2025, and welcome to the freshman class presidential debates. My name is Gavin Brady. I'm going to be the moderator for today. And down below we have the panel, Jessica Malash and Piper Jones. They're going to be interviewing and asking questions to each of the candidates today. As you can see, all the candidates are seated with us today. They're all running for the presidential office. Starting from the left, we have Andrew Hardacre, Shivani Jha, Isadora Nascimento, Kaylee Wen, and Trina Van Vliet. We hope that the debates today give you, the freshman class, a better understanding of each of the individual candidates, policies, plans, and qualifications that they possess to represent you, the freshman class, for the 2021-2022 school year. So with that, I'm going to pass it off to the panel to ask their first question.
What ideas do you have to improve Stanton, and how will you enforce them? And we'll start with Andrew.
I want to tackle a large amount of issues at Stanton. No school is perfect, but Stanton's a pretty amazing school so far. I want to tackle how to handle online school after. I know that it's pretty chaotic in 7th and 8th grade if you had to do online. I also want to tackle equality. That's something that admin fails short in, and I think that as a student body, we can grow in that. I think that sports attendance and performance amongst freshmen, especially if you join right now, you have about 4 years to go, and you can grow, especially as a freshman athlete, if you join now. I also want to tackle good networking between students. I know last year's candidates did that, and communication is key, especially in this day and age with the virtual networks. And I also want to tackle sparse social opportunities, because a bunch of the groups that stick together, they don't let anybody new in, or people are too scared to go join these groups. And I believe that if you want to enjoy your Stanton years, you should probably go join a social group.
Building off of what Drew said, I also believe that we should focus on the social aspect here and communication. I know coming into Stanton as a freshman, I was terrified and I felt as though there wasn't really a clear-cut communication, and that's why I'd like to start a Remind and an Instagram page to make sure that all the freshmen know about upcoming service opportunities and other Stanton events, such as pep rallies. Mental health, obviously, is a very big aspect of being here at Stanton. You know, we get a lot of work, maybe not freshmen, but if you're an upperclassman, you get a lot of work, and that can be stressful. So I'd like to focus on that and focus on doing something about your mental health. Because I know that we've acknowledged that it exists, but we haven't done too much to support you through that. So if you ever need to talk to me, I'm right here. If you ever need to talk to your friends, they're right there.
So when I was planning my election, I wanted to be as realistic as possible. And I understand that I just got here, as many of you just got here. And to be honest, if I'm giving you a completely honest answer, I'm not sure. I have a lot of plans, but I want to hear you as we go along. So my goal is to listen to you and to what you have to say and what improvements you'd like to make.
So obviously, since we've all been here and it's only been a couple of weeks, we don't know that many people, especially teachers, admin, and the way to really enforce plans that we have for the future, we have to bring it up to school administration. And to do that, you need good communication, and a stable, determined officer group and student government allows a bridge to be formed between admin and the student body. So being determined and advocating our message until it's recognized is what I plan to do.
With me, I want to make sure everyone here feels accepted and like they belong in some place. I want you to feel like you can come to me, and I don't want my opinion to be the only one voiced here. I want to make sure everybody knows their opinion and say matters, and they shouldn't just rely on one opinion to come from a person that could be biased. I feel like it would be better to come from multiple different sources and different ways to fix like social issues and things like that, is to get just more approaches on a certain issue.
Okay, the next question we have is for all of the candidates, and it is, what qualities do you possess that makes you a good candidate for this position?
Possess a variety of qualities. I know these are kind of cliche, but public speaking is a pretty big one. Most freshmen can't figure out how to speak to other crowds, and it's something that they don't develop until later in life, before college. I believe that's something pretty good to have with a freshman, something that you obviously learn later in life, and that is difficult to develop along the way. I also possess group leadership skills. I don't get nervous around groups, I don't get nervous around crowds. I also don't get nervous around my cabinet. I let everybody have a say, I'm not a power hog. That's something that you notice with a lot of politicians in this day and age, is that they're power hog and that they're a one-man army. And I want to move past that. I also bring a sense of strategy. I don't do it just for popularity contests or for anything like that. I genuinely want to better the school, and that's a mentality that's hard to develop, especially as a student government officer.
So I know that I'm not perfect, but a quality that I do possess. How many of you procrastinate? You can put a thumbs up if you procrastinate. Okay, quite a few thumbs. All right, me too. I procrastinate, but what I know about myself is that I still manage to get things done in the end. And if something is a priority, which this position is to me, I will put that first over all the other stuff. Like yesterday, I had a chem test today, and I decided to write my speech for this rather than studying for that. It wasn't a very good decision, but I did it. And I like to say that I'm a friendly person. That's for you to decide. And I'm pretty good with my time. I have a planner, and I manage my time well. I set reminders. Those are the qualities that I bring.
I'm so nervous. Can you guys talk? So I know you guys are. How are you guys? Good. Okay. I'm so sorry. I'm so nervous. Yeah. So a leadership position that I personally think I possess is that I have a wide cultural background. So although I am American, my parents are from Brazil. I have a lot of religious background too, and I feel like leadership is the ability to deal with a crowd of people who come from so many different places, and I understand and I acknowledge and I think it's beautiful how we all come from something different, and I do want to honor that if I do win.
So I think I possess a lot of leadership skills, including keeping a positive outlook on things, being considerate and accepting, so you don't feel like you're not welcomed or anything. I'm also very friendly, so hopefully you're not afraid to reach out and talk to us. And I'm able to adapt really well to difficult situations, even if you have little to work with. I can work off of that, build off of that, and make it into something great.
I feel like I have great leadership skills.
Sorry.
But I feel like I'm a really good social butterfly, and I can get along with people really well with different groups, and social ideas, and I can feel like I have freedom of mind, and I can be, in a way, one of the greatest people you'll ever meet. Which that sounds kind of cocky, but I can be one of the nicest people you will meet because I want to be able to help you through everything. I forgot what I was saying. I feel like I have great social skills with people overall.
So the next question is, and it's for all the candidates, if a conflict arises between the officers, how will you deal with it?
So if a conflict arises between students,
Between the officers.
oh, okay. So a cabinet policy is very big with me. I believe that there should also be extended policy with cabinets like committees, groups, plan stuff, because 5 officers isn't that much for a group of 200 freshmen. And so I think that if a conflict arises between the officers, it's really not up to me. It's their personal preference, and they got the position on their own. They didn't run with me, and I can't force them to do anything. But I'm definitely going to encourage unity, because freshman unity, if there's not that unity, there's that disconnect, and freshmen just don't feel it, especially the officers, because if we can't work well together, then we can't get anything done.
I seriously agree with what Drew said. Communication is so important between officers. We are, a very big group of freshmen. And if there isn't that communication, like Drew said, then it's not going to work out. I believe that there should be a civil way to solve issues between candidates, officers, if we get elected. But it is their business. If it's a personal thing, I'll try to leave it alone. But if it is something that's affecting all of us, we need to come together and figure it out civilly.
I actually have 2 answers for this. The first one that I want to highlight is how I believe having a very strong cabinet is super important for everyone. Not only myself, but also for you. And so if a conflict were to arise, I think it would be best if we work it out as a democracy, popular vote. There is five officers, and that is not an even number. However, that can also be solved
with a good old-fashioned rock, paper, scissors, shoot game?
So if conflicts were to arise between the officers, I think, like they all said, it should be worked out and not like left to the side. Officer meetings can be held for evaluation and discussion of the situation, making sure all the officers agree to one compromise, so all of our ideas are combined.
I feel like we should get both sides of the situation and decide not who's right or who's wrong, but a way to compromise it all. More it's not, oh, you're wrong, I'm right, and it should be more a combined people thing. It shouldn't just have to be pushed away as an issue. It should be resolved as quickly as possible, but with responsibility and accountability.
Thank you. The next question for all of the candidates is, what challenges do you think you would face in this position, and how would you solve them?
I think I'll face lacking socioeconomic issue experience. Obviously, like, I can't identify with every minority or gender or sexuality, and I can't be there to provide that personal opinion. So I think there will be a challenge between me personally relating to the student body and others relating to me, because I'm going to have some middleman between that. I also think a challenge is working with the candidates of the other positions. I'm obviously not with a full party, and even if I was, they probably wouldn't all be elected. And so there might be a little disconnect between us for a little minute there when we all first get elected, because I know that there will definitely be different candidates from different parties and different groups down here. So that'll probably be a really big issue to figure out how to do.
My biggest issue would be representing all of the different opinions and backgrounds in the crowd. I know that I have my own opinions, and some of you may agree with them, and some of you may disagree. Representation is one of my biggest things here, and feeling like I can't represent you would really just be a very big struggle, and I don't want anyone to feel unheard. I want you all to feel seen. Let's be honest, we all have our opinions and we all come from different corners of the world. And especially being freshmen, there is also a physical and hormonal change that's going on within us, and it's so easy for us to get into little conflicts. The way I would handle that, and the way that, can you repeat the question, please? I'm so sorry. I'm doing bad.
Sure. The question is, what challenges do you think you would face in this position, and how would you solve them?
Okay, honestly, I think I'm perfect. No, I'm just kidding. So, I think that, like they said, representation is something that's very, very complicated to get, since, we all come from different parts of the world and different places. But of course, a quick way to fix that is for us to use things such as polls and communication, and I think that it won't be easy, but it'll definitely work.
So I kind of have two problems that I think I would face in this position. One is reaching out to every single student, because some students don't have social media, but for the ones that do, posts will be made to overcome that, and for those who don't, posters will be put up, announcements will be made in teams. I think another problem is, like, there are certain projects and plans that we support and want to take place, but it will only happen if the district or the administration allows it. So to overcome that, I think we should continue to advocate our message and put out our ideas until we are recognized.
I feel like my biggest lack is social confidence, because I struggle with thinking that I'm going to make a mistake and I'm going to stumble on my words a lot. But the biggest way for me to overcome these challenges are for people who they come to me and they believe in me a lot, and it helps me socially. And the people that help me with my campaign and everything, people who went through and helped edit things and grammar, and overall were very supportive and would send me messages and saying that they believed in me and supported everything I was doing. Those things help a lot, and it makes me believe in myself. That's probably going to be my biggest issue.
And lastly, before we open the questions up to the audience, why should the students elect you?
For one thing, I believe that I have a superior networking capability. I'm obviously more interconnected with the student body through various forms of networking, such as Teams, Discord, Instagram. I have every Snapchat and an account set up in every case. I also think I have the most fail-proof option, and that if we go online, I think that we definitely need to have a good way to connect with each other, communicate, and have fun, honestly, because Online school got really boring after a while, and I couldn't stand it, and I bet you guys can't, especially at Stanton, where we need those mental breaks between our schooling. I also think that I have superior policy, and that my policy is the most descriptive and thorough. If you look at my policy, there's an aspect to every sort of aspect that you could ask, or question that you could ask about the specific policy. And I also believe that I have the most time and funds on my hands to handle these situations that you get.
Building off of what I said earlier on representation and communication, I believe agreeability is a very big quality that you need to see in your candidates. I have had people tell me that I'm an agreeable person, I'm kind. I mean, of course, that's up for you to decide. Building on communication, I like what Drew said about using Teams. I feel like we're about to go online very soon, if any of you have been reading the news about the Delta variant. And we need to be able to communicate to every single student here. And that is a big part of what I plan to do with posters, Teams, Remind, word of mouth, of course, and announcements with the SCP newspaper. Love y'all.
So an obvious issue that's going on right now is, of course, this pandemic. One thing that differs me from most candidates, and I respect all of you, but something that I have publicly put out is a plan as to where if schools were to shut down, what I would do. And you guys can also go to my Instagram and have that. My posters have a QR link, and if you don't have Instagram, you can just go directly to the Instagram.com website and look at it. Also, if you honor me, if you vote for me and honor me, I promise you that I will stand up for everyone, no matter your creed, nationality, ethnicity, genetic information, sexual orientation, or even just your personality. I promise you that I will stand for you as long as I have will in me to fight.
Similar to what Izzy said, my main goal is to create an open-minded, accepting community for everyone at this school, and up to the point where everyone considers it like a safe space and like home. And another main goal is unity, making sure we all feel safe with one another and accepted, sort of like family. And I'm willing to put in all the work that's necessary to present your ideas and make it happen.
I feel like something that differs me is I can understand a lot of different opinions and like general idea of people from religion. I can't understand their religion because it is theirs, but I will get their basis of it. I will understand and I will accept them for who they are, no matter what they tell me, because my job here isn't just to be your leader, it's to be your friend, okay? I'm not gonna lie. I want to be your friend, and I do want to be a somewhat president. Well, I do want to be a president. I want to be able to somebody you could come and talk to, and you could trust your opinions, and you're just somebody you could talk to.
What policies are you guys putting forward?
So I'm going to implement a bunch of policies, mainly socioeconomic. I know school politics isn't as big as like the social environment around here, and especially in 2021, there's a lot of issues going on about socioeconomic issues such as race, sexuality, gender, and I believe tackling that is the biggest part of my campaign and the biggest part of all of these guys' campaign. I also want to, as I mentioned, implement a fail-safe option for COVID in case the Delta variant strikes. It's inevitable. Regardless of what your opinion is, it may strike, and we got to have that back. I also think that some of the sports and clubs at this school need more freshman attendance. Freshmen, I guess, you guys don't want to go out there and get out there and make some friends, and it seems harder than it really is. And I want to promote that so you guys can grow better as athletes and as social people. I also want to implement, obviously, better networking skills. I know that Jay and Jacob from last year had implemented that, and I just want to grow on that, adding more networks and more obscure networks to my notice so that I can communicate with you guys in every possible way.
I don't know if any of you have Instagram or you've been following any of our candidates' campaigns recently, but climate change has been a very big topic. And I would like to introduce some service opportunities surrounding climate change, such as beach cleanups and gardening opportunities. A lot of the policies I'd like to implement are based off of what you think Stanton needs. This is why communication is so key. please do not feel afraid to reach out. Your opinions are necessary.